my 22 years in the Navy to today, from that day on September 11th, my 2 command tours, I've learned a lot. And one thing I've learned is that we as human beings love our routines. Raise your hand if you love your routine in the morning. Yeah, the rest of you are lying. You know you are. Like for me, I love my routines. I retired about 8 years ago from the Navy. I still get up at the same time every morning. I still drink about the same amount of coffee. I have my same routine I did. And I can get in a rut. And as a leader, I can sometimes get in a rut. I mean, for most of my life, I've been the oddball, the goofball, sometimes the outcast. But even with that kind of thinking, sometimes I've got to think about things different. I have to do things differently if I want to get a different result. For me, personally, one sticking point for me as a leader sometimes is just in how I communicate. That I have to learn that communication is just not one-way communication. That I've got to be a sponge. What do sponges do? Absorb, yeah. When I'm being a sponge, I'm thinking about communication. I'm remembering that communication is a two-way street, and I'm trying to keep both lanes open. Because many times, most of us human beings are thinking or listening to respond versus listening to really hear. And what this can cause are what I call taco body moments. Let me explain. I have 4 kids. My youngest boy, Ben, he is a funny kid. When he was only 2 years old, he loves music. When he was only 2 years old, he had all the words to that Smash Mouth song, All Star, memorized. He'd get up in his high chair and he'd do his little diaper dance. He's like, hey, now, you're an all-star, get your game on. Okay, it was really cute. Don't judge, all right? Don't judge. Well, a few years ago, there was a song coming on the radio by Lutz Incorporated called Funky Town. It's an 80s song. You remember that? Won't you take me to Funky Town? You want to sing it. Won't you take me to Funky Town? Well, Ben was in the zone. He was absolutely in the zone. His buds were over, he was building his Legos, and that song was blaring in the background. And, he was singing with it at the top of his lungs. And it gets to a certain part of the song where they start singing, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. And when it got to that part of the song, Ben belts out, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. And I looked at him really serious, and I was like, taco body? And he looked at me deadpan back and said, yeah, taco body. And I started thinking, isn't that what happens to us every day as leaders? Is that our people are singing talk about it, but we're hearing taco body, right? And, we've all been through the communication classes. We know that in basic communication, you've got a sender and a... Yeah, so thank you, one person in the audience there that answered. Yeah, we have sender and receiver. We got some kind of channel, some kind of feedback mechanism, but still, we're hearing taco body. Why? Because all those distractions out there, all those things that are vying for our time and attention. Sometimes they're physical distractions. Sometimes they're just things we're paying attention to that we shouldn't be paying attention to. Like if I was up here and I weighed 600 pounds and I was wearing the same shirt, and you're more worried about a button popping off and hitting the eye than what I'm saying, you might be hearing taco body, right? Or if I'm up here and I'm talking and the entire time my zipper was down and the whole time you're thinking, does he know? You might be hearing taco body. And what about men and women? They say we speak a little bit different languages. They say men are from, women are from. Yeah, but sometimes don't we all talk out Uranus? I'm here all day, folks. Anyway. For me, if I've got these distractions that are vying for my time and attention, these things that I'm paying attention to that I shouldn't be paying attention to, I need to get rid of them. Like for me, my cell phone distraction, step away. Email distraction, step away. That I have to realize that if I'm going to be really one with that person, I'm going to be really in that conversation, I'm going to really connect with that person, I need to be in that conversation. I need to listen for feelings. I need to listen with empathy. I need to be there to read that body language. The second part for me on being a sponge is getting off script. That sometimes, like I said, I'm listening to respond. I'm not really listening to hear. And in my head, what I'm doing is I'm running the script. And you think about it like this. Person's there talking to you, and you're thinking, well, as a leader, I should say this. As a leader, I should say that. We can't be robots with our people. We need to really connect with our people. For me, when I think about getting off script, I consider it sharing my leadership tithe. Sharing that 10% of myself that really makes a difference, that 10% of myself that really means something, that 10% of myself that will really leave a legacy. For me, it's sharing my story. Sometimes it's my story about my trials and tribulations, how I got there. That is powerful for our people when we share that story. But if I really want to connect with that person, sometimes it's just about sharing my funny story, sharing that thing that's going to make them laugh, that thing that's going to make them smile. Like for me, usually it's a story about my kids. Here about 4 years ago, my eldest daughter joined the Army. I'm Navy, and I was like, really? Anyway, all service is good service, and I'm proud of her. She's serving in South Korea right now. She's on deployment. God bless her. But before she left for boot camp, I said, you know what we should do, sweetheart, is that we should take like a daddy-daughter trip. I'm going to open my calendar. You can take a look where I'm traveling. You just pick some place. Just pick wherever you want to go. So she opens up my calendar. She's flipping through, and she picks, of course, New Orleans. Not exactly where you want to take your adult daughter. And before I tell you this rest of the story, I have to share with you, there are a couple things that you don't want to hear your adult daughter say as you're walking down Bourbon Street. The first thing you don't want to hear your daughter say as you're walking down Bourbon Street is you're walking down, she's looking around, and she's like, you mean you can walk around here and drink? And I said, yeah. She goes, I am so moving here if this army thing doesn't work out. The second thing you don't want to hear your daughter say as you're walking down Bourbon Street is you're walking, she's checking out these people in the doorways, these women. She's like, she's a stripper? And I was like, yeah. She goes, she's disgusting. I could be a stripper. So our travel day comes up. I usually fly out of O'Hare Airport. So our travel day comes up. As soon as we cross the door, I'm immediately like 20 feet ahead of her. Why? Because I'm type A, I'm driven, and I'm on a mission. And my mission is to get through TSA faster than the time before. So I've got my clock set, I'm half undressed, got my stuff up on the belt, and I am ready. Yes, absolutely ready to get the full body cavity search on the other side if need be. And I take a look. She doesn't travel all the time. She's just taking her time, going through security. She throws her bag up there, her makeup up there, or semi-automatic 9mm up there. And I tell you, she has got this light about her that people will just come up and start conversations with her for no reason. She just has that kind of personality. I mean, who knows somebody like that? I mean, people just start these conversations. So she's in line, and of course, somebody starts up a conversation with her. And this woman behind her is talking a little bit, and then out of the blue, this woman says, this may sound like a strange question, but can you tell I'm wearing pajama jeans? I mean, have you seen these things at Walmart? I think the motto is like, hey, jeans you can sleep in, pajamas you can work in. And my daughter says, she asks her this question, and my daughter says, no, can I see? And the woman actually lifts up her coat and gives my daughter a little twirl like this. And then my daughter says, can I touch them? So, mind you, I've already gone through security, right? I've already gone through security. She's touching her pants, she's touching her pants. And I started thinking, this had never happened to a dude, right? Imagine I'm in the breakfast line this morning, Scott's in front of me. I'm like, Scott, this may sound like a strange question, but can you tell I'm wearing Joe Boxer? It'd be odder if he said, no, Chip, can I touch him? So when we share our story, what it helps to do is humanize our leadership. But I do have to share this caveat on being careful where you share your story. Like, I've got 4 brothers. I love them all, but one of my brothers is my best friend. And actually, between 3 of my brothers, I've had 9 sisters-in-law. I don't know exactly how that worked out. I came home on leave one year. Everybody got a new wife but me, and I was just like, que pasa? Couldn't send me the memo? What's up? So my brother, how should I put this? He likes his wives a little more volatile than I do. So he's my best friend. I go out to visit him. He was living in San Diego, and he picks me up from the airport, and on the ride, he's sharing with me how the day before, he and his wife had this big fight, and he's giving it to me play by play. He's like, and this happened, and that happened, and this happened, and that happened, and then all of a sudden, my cell phone rang, and I took a look, and I was like, Matt, why is your wife calling me? He's like, So with a little trepidation, I was like, hello? She says, Chip, will you let Matt know that his phone butt dialed me? And I've been listening to your conversation for the last 10 minutes. And I was like, no habla inglés, no habla inglés. So yeah, share your story, but just be careful and make sure your phone's not butt dialing somebody. But when we can do that, like I said, it helps humanize our leadership. And people will be more apt to come talk to us when they need to come talk to us rather than when it's too late. I want to share this last piece with you right here, a quote that I really like. It's we don't remember days, but remember moments. And in life, that's all we have, are all these different discombobulated moments. We've got moments when things are going great, just the way they should be with our teams. And then we have not so good moments when this is going wrong and that's going wrong, and sometimes the weight of all the things that we're feeling are down upon us. But the nice thing is that we also have these different moments of choice, that we can choose how we're going to act and how we're going to interact with our environment. That we can choose to keep doing the same thing we're always doing, to maintain the status quo, to not rock the boat, or we can choose something a little bit different. We can say, hey, how can I do this bigger? How can I do this better? How can I do this a little more different? How can I leave more of a legacy with the people around me? I wish for you that you're able to find that thing and shift whatever kind of road you need to get where you need to go. I'm Chip Lutz. Thank you very much.